and thank you for taking the time to engage in this important discussion. Recently, Representative Mello asked for an in-depth breakdown of the challenges faced by families with developmental disabilities in Florida. That request highlighted the need for policymakers to have clear, detailed insights into the unique complexities of home and community-based services, HCBS waivers, and the barriers individuals and families encounter in accessing critical supports. At the same time, Speaker Perez's initiative with Legislator University stood out as an incredible opportunity to provide this information in a structured and impactful way. Inspired by this effort, this presentation was developed to give a deeper understanding of the realities, challenges, and opportunities within Florida's disability service system. As you move through this session, please remember to click on the links provided for additional resources and further exploration. Your engagement today can help shape policies that will ensure individuals with disabilities receive the support they need, now and for future generations. Today we will be covering understanding the population, the I-budget system, the application and service initiation process, the history of Florida's APD and Medicaid waiver, service delivery and available services, budget and funding mechanisms, challenges and unmet needs. Each section is crucial to understanding how we can create policies that provide meaningful, sustainable support to Floridians with developmental disabilities. Before we dive into policy and funding, it is essential to understand the population we are discussing. Developmental disabilities are lifelong conditions that impact a person's ability to function independently. This unit will define the qualifying disabilities and the unique challenges they present. Developmental disabilities, DD, affect an individual's physical, learning, language, or behavioral development. Florida's Medicaid waiver program currently serves over 50,000 individuals, yet more than 21,500 individuals remain on a wait list. Florida law defines 8 qualifying developmental disabilities, which we will now review. Intellectual disability, ID, is diagnosed before age 18 and is characterized by an IQ of 70 or below, along with significant limitations in adaptive functioning, including communication, self-care, and decision-making. Individuals with ID require varying levels of support. Some can live independently with minor accommodations, while others need full-time supervision and structured environments. Ensuring appropriate support services for individuals with ID is key to improving their quality of life and enabling them to participate in society to the fullest extent possible. Autism is a neurodevelopmental disorder that affects communication, social interaction, and behavior. Because autism exists on a spectrum, individuals experience a wide range of challenges and abilities. Some require minimal assistance, while others need significant support throughout their lives. To be eligible for APD services, an autism diagnosis must result in significant functional limitations in daily life. Early intervention, therapies such as applied behavior analysis, ABA, and structured support systems help individuals with autism thrive in education, employment, and independent living. Florida's policies must ensure access to timely diagnosis, therapy, and resources to help individuals with autism reach their full potential. Cerebral palsy, CP, is a neurological condition caused by brain damage before or during birth, affecting movement, muscle tone, and posture. Some individuals with CP experience mild motor difficulties, while others rely on wheelchairs and require assistance with daily tasks. Many individuals with CP require physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy, mobility aids, and personal care assistance. Without these services, they face severe barriers to independence and inclusion in society. Expanding access to therapies and assistive technology can significantly improve the quality of life for individuals with CP. Spina bifida is a birth defect where the spinal cord fails to develop properly, leading to mobility impairments, hydrocephalus, fluid buildup in the brain, and bladder-bowel dysfunction. Many individuals with spina bifida require multiple surgeries, medical interventions, and lifelong support services such as physical therapy, medical equipment, and in-home care. Without adequate services, they are at risk of significant medical complications and loss of independence. Legislators can help by supporting policies that ensure Medicaid and the I-budget waiver provide comprehensive care for individuals with spina bifida. Prader-Willi syndrome, PWS, is a rare genetic disorder that causes chronic hunger, intellectual disabilities, and behavioral challenges. Individuals with PWS often experience life-threatening obesity if food intake is not carefully monitored. In addition to strict dietary management, individuals with PWS require behavioral supports, medical interventions, and supervised living environments to maintain their health and safety. Many need full-time care. Ensuring Medicaid and waiver services cover supervised care, behavior management, and specialized group homes is essential for this population. Down syndrome is caused by an extra copy of chromosome 21, leading to developmental delays, intellectual disabilities, and distinct physical features. With early intervention, therapies, and appropriate educational programs, many individuals with Down syndrome can live independently, work, and actively participate in their communities. Key services include speech therapy, occupational therapy, and life skills training. Ensuring these services are fully funded and accessible can help individuals with Down syndrome achieve their highest level of independence. Phelan-McDermid syndrome, PMS, is a rare genetic disorder caused by deletions on chromosome 22. It leads to severe intellectual disability, lack of speech, and motor delays. Many individuals with PMS are nonverbal and require feeding tubes, medical equipment, and full-time caregivers to meet their needs. Because of the severity of impairments, individuals with PMS require lifelong Medicaid waiver services. Policymakers should prioritize funding for skilled nursing, in-home care, and therapies to support this highly vulnerable population. Children under 5 who show significant developmental delays in speech, motor skills, cognition, or social-emotional abilities may not yet meet full criteria for a developmental disability. However, without early intervention, they are likely to develop more severe impairments. Early intervention services, including speech therapy, occupational therapy, and behavioral therapy, are critical in reducing long-term disability and dependence on state-funded programs. Supporting individuals with developmental disabilities is both a moral and economic imperative. When adequate supports are in place, families are better able to work, contribute to society, and avoid crisis situations. Investing in services for individuals with disabilities reduces long-term costs associated with institutionalization and emergency medical interventions, ultimately benefiting the economy and strengthening communities. By funding sustainable support systems, we can ensure that individuals with developmental disabilities lead fulfilling lives while reducing strain on social services. Unfortunately, misconceptions about developmental disabilities persist, leading to policy gaps and inadequate funding. This section will address and correct some of the most common myths surrounding this population. One of the biggest misconceptions is that all individuals with developmental disabilities have severe impairments and cannot contribute to society. Developmental disabilities exist on a broad spectrum. Many individuals have average or high intelligence and can learn skills with appropriate supports. Nearly 1/3 of Floridians with IDDD hold paid employment, showing that when barriers are removed, they can contribute meaningfully. It is often assumed that most individuals with developmental disabilities are children. Adults make up a large portion of this population, and people do not outgrow developmental disabilities. The majority of those receiving or waiting for waiver services are adults, including seniors with lifelong disabilities. Another common myth is that existing programs, such as schools and charities, fully meet the needs of individuals with developmental disabilities. Schools provide services until age 22, but many families are left with few options afterward. The demand for waiver services far exceeds availability, and more than 21,000 Floridians remain on the wait list. Without services, many individuals rely on aging parents for care, often leaving families in crisis. To check our understanding, let's go over a quick question. What are the 8 qualifying diagnoses to be eligible for the APDI budget waiver? The 8 qualifying diagnoses are intellectual disability, IDD, autism, cerebral palsy, spina bifida, Prader-Willi syndrome, PWS, Down syndrome, Phelan-McDermid syndrome, PMS, and at-risk children.